Harvey had written in a memo at one point when he was running the executive action program that he wanted to use Corsicans.
Wanted to use what?
Corsicans.
Yeah.
As hitmen. Do you think it's possible that when he was in Rome that he might have recruited a Corsican assassin to kill Kennedy?
Yes. It is possible. I mean, it's one thing to set yourself up in splendid isolation, and it's another thing to use that isolation as a tool, so that you're not an immediate suspect in the case of a capital crime.
Right, right, because he was in Rome.
Is that understandable?
Yeah,
Okay.
very. My understanding is that Harvey had a very severe clash with Bobby Kennedy around the time of the missile crisis, and that Kennedy basically
I think it was
said, "Get rid
earlier
of
than
this guy."
that, and he posted an old slogan somewhere in the agency premises that said, "The tree of liberty must be nourished by the blood of patriots," and this incensed Bobby Kennedy, and they clashed on that particular point.
Let me ask you.
Sure.
John F. Kennedy's assassination.
Yep.
Who did that?
It was done by William Harvey, who was the head of the CIA's assassination unit at that time. David Morales was directly involved in it. He likewise is the gentleman who killed Che Guevara down in Bolivia in '67, where they put him up against a firing wall and killed him and shot and killed him. Morales was part of that. I believe that because I saw, heard, and read a confession from E. Howard Hunt on a deathbed to his son. And when he confessed, it was not a confession of remorse. It was a confession of pride. He wanted the world to know that we helped you out. We killed John Kennedy, this communist sympathizer.
Everything was extremely tense. And suddenly it was discovered that Harvey had sent a team of people into Cuba. And the Kennedys were very concerned that this crisis might explode into nuclear war. And Robert Kennedy particularly was in a rage when he heard that this loose cannon had added a further element of unpredictability to the situation.
Harvey hated the Kennedys. After the Cuban Missile Crisis, he had a confrontation with Bobby Kennedy that virtually ended his career, exiling him to an intelligence station in Rome.
We had a terrible experience with the ones that were handling it at the time of the missile crisis. They were going to send 60 people into Cuba right during the missile crisis. Nobody knew what they were doing. And we pinned it down to the fellow who was supposed to be in charge, and he said we planned it because the military wanted it done. And I asked the military, and they never heard of it.
Oh my God.
This is the same fellow who put the tunnel under Berlin, and so he was, you remember that tunnel in 1948? They constructed a tunnel under and built it up under the intelligence office of the, which was a hell of a project. But he did that better than he did this.
En 1976, plus de 80% des personnes interrogées ne croyaient pas à la thèse du tireur isolé. Poussé par la pression populaire, le Congrès met sur pied une commission d'enquête parlementaire sur les assassinats. Deux révélations servent de déclic. La première, c'est une lettre d'Oswald adressée à l'agent du FBI, James Hosty, qui a été détruite après sa mort. Hosty ne l'avait pas mentionné à la commission. La seconde fut la découverte de l'implication de la CIA dans plusieurs tentatives d'attentats contre Fidel Castro, révélant la présence d'éléments incontrôlables au sein de cette agence gouvernementale. Gerald Ford, membre de la commission Warren, déclare à la nouvelle commission d'enquête que s'il avait eu connaissance de ces informations, la commission dont il faisait partie aurait élargi son champ d'investigation.
If we had known of these assassination plans or attempts,
si nous avions eu connaissance de projets ou de tentatives d'assassinat par une agence du gouvernement fédéral, nous aurions certainement étendu notre enquête à ces organisations.
Oui, il y a bien eu un quatrième coup de feu, conclut la commission parlementaire dans son rapport de janvier 1979, en s'appuyant sur l'analyse des enregistrements effectués par des micros de la police de Dallas. Grâce à un équipement acoustique sophistiqué, cette analyse a permis d'identifier la provenance du troisième des 4 coups de feu. Celui-ci est parti du monticule herbeux. Un autre tireur au moins a donc fait feu. La commission d'enquête parlementaire conclut qu'il y a probablement eu complot, mais que ni la CIA ni le FBI n'y étaient impliqués.
After a deluded gunman assassinated President Kennedy, our nation turned to Gerald Ford and a select handful of others to make sense of that madness. And the conspiracy theorists can say what they will, but the Warren Commission report will always have the final definitive say on this tragic matter. Why? Because Jerry Ford put his name on it, and Jerry Ford's word was always good. After a deluded gunman assassinated President Kennedy,
says, well, I bet you that President Johnson is going to be real pleased when he finds that now they're calling me the #1 bomber. And George Christian said, oh, don't be too sure. He says, you know, LBJ, he never likes to be #2.
He was so angry. He had a violent temper when he was upset.
Well, let's use the exact words that he said to you. What did he say to you?
He grabbed me by the arm, and he had this deep voice, and he said, after tomorrow, those SOBs will never embarrass me again. That's no threat. That's a promise. And it startled me.
Alors, Johnson avait une raison particulière d'assassiner Kennedy, c'est qu'une enquête était en cours sur les meurtres qui jalonnent le parcours politique de Johnson et qui voient les gens qui lui empêchent d'accéder au pouvoir disparaître. Et Wallace est impliqué là-dedans. On retrouvera les empreintes de Wallace à l'emplacement où on prétendra qu'Oswald a tiré.
When he was done, he had a 34-point match. And when you mention that in criminal circles to an investigator, how confident would you feel with a 34-point match? Oh, that's a slam dunk. It can't miss. It doesn't get any better than that. You give me a 34-point match on any case in the United States, I'll take it to court and win.
The inked and the latent prints are made by the same finger. And the other evidence that I've been presented with was Malcolm Wallace's left little finger, without a reasonable doubt.
On ne peut pas contester la présence de Wallace sur place où ils ont retrouvé ses empreintes. Et quant à Eladio del Valle, il a été massacré à coups de machette. Je dirais que ça recoupe, lui aussi était un anticastriste impliqué dans l'épisode des tentatives multiples de la CIA pour assassiner Castro. Comme Morales, qui a été lui aussi liquidé dans les années 70.
There is Lee Oswald. He's been shot. He's been shot. Lee Oswald has been shot. There's the man with a gun. It's absolute panic here in the basement of Dallas Police Headquarters.
Jack, what do you think about the hearing? I want to correct what I stated before. He was vice president. Remember I said he was vice president? Yes, I did when I mentioned about Adlai Stevens. If he was vice president, there would never have been an assassination of our beloved President Kennedy. Would you explain again? Well, the answer is the man in office now.